Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Yeah, YouTube is restarting as well. Mm. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way for me to get around with it due to the limitation of Instagram. How do I learn to do the expressions? I think a lot to do with observations, especially when you're watching movies, watching anime, and you encounter certain expression, try to sit down and pause it and try to break it down how the features are being put together to convey certain emotions. I mean, I do not have anybody to teach me art in my earlier days. Well, my whole life actually. So everything that I learned from is self-taught. So you really take a lot of self-discipline to find out things on your own. As of now, you see there are a lot of pockets of white patches on the hair, which may look a little harsh. But once I go over with gray and eventually Copics, then you look much better. I mean, I'm saying this for those of you who are not very familiar with my process, or if you happen to watch my stream for the very first time. So it's important to anticipate how the eventual image will look like so that you can plan your step and process carefully. Hmm. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Oh, someone asked, do I add water to the brush? No, I don't. I don't really dilute it. I don't use this brush to produce gray tone. So this brush is black, and I just want to use the black of it. I know some artists they do. I just smudge it or add water to it, or using a water brush after they apply the black ink to make it into some kind of watercolor look. Uh, I don't. I need to look carefully about the design of the tag. I don't actually follow the pencil line too closely. Sometimes when I ink, I will take the opportunity to correct some of the areas. So I will try to draw a new curve in certain areas that's not according to the pencil line. All right, let me check out the tag, the design of the tag. That's quite complicated. Mm. So because of the details of that, I'm going to just black out this area, and then later on I'll use a white ink pen to draw the emblem because it's really, really thin. I think it's much easier that way. Same for this. Okay. Then let's put in some extra fine lines. Then I'm using a multi-liner. It can be any brand. Usually I use a Copic brand. But for this particular one, I'm using what's that? Monotone. Yeah, monotone brand. It doesn't matter really. For the eyes, I will try not to ink it with black because I really want her eye to glow in red. So I keep it. So I try not to touch it first until I apply the Copics. Put a bit of the wrinkle. So this the thin lines is really just to add extra fidelity to the image. So you have thick areas, your thin area, your solid area, your brushy areas. So the entire image, the inking of the image will look more interesting to me. Okay, let me use the fine liner to bring in more eyelashes. All right, that should do the trick. Okay, so I'm going to take a short break, a 5 minutes break. So go and grab a drink, grab a snack, or brush your teeth if you just wake up. I'll be back in 5. All right, so don't go away. See you later. So, welcome back, guys, and I'm back. Do you happen to have any questions that you want to ask me that I can answer some before I resume my drawing? Any tips on nose and lips? Well, tips. Let me see what kind of tips I can give you. Um, well, I can do a quick one to show you. Let me grab a paper. All right. For the lips, you can start with something simple. Start with a center line. Oops, it's not good paper. Let me get a better one. All right, so basically you start with the center line. It goes like this. So look at like little bird. Uh, so it goes like that. And then you mark the top areas for the height of the upper lips. And then mark the bottom area. Now usually I will try not to connect the lines all the way to the end because I want to decide whether I want to put heavy makeup on this character or something light, something that is more gradual, more gradient. So I just put a landmark like this. So when I render, I can choose to apply makeup to the character this way. Then of course, you're not just talking about the front view of the lips. You can talk about, for example, a slightly angled ones. So for the same thing, I just keep it simple. Um, the center line is usually darker because the ambient occlusion is stronger here. So when the upper lips and lower lips contact each other, it will create a stronger ambient occlusions. So you will get to see a darker line in the middle. Some of these thin lines are more transitional. Transitional basically means that it's more to indicate the contour uh, of the lips rather than define it as an edge. So something you can see. All right. Mm. All right. So let's put in some gray. So I'm using another pen, and this pen is also the same as the other one, which is the Pentel art brush, but this one is gray. So for black hair, I will try not to leave the white on it for the highlight area or the specular area. So now the value is more subtle. I mean, of course, you can use a gray Copic instead of a gray pen to achieve this effect. But what I like about using a gray brush pen is that it also gives a lot more energy uh, because of the stroke that it creates. A lot more brushy, I would say. So basically, what I'm trying to do here is to create a gray value painting by using the black and then the gray pen. And then later on, I'll overlay them with the copy colors. So this feel more like underpainting. I can even add extra strands of hair using the gray pen to make the hair look thinner, softer, and messier. Of course, if you're drawing a nice and pretty kind of girl, you may not want to do this, but when a character is in motions, when you have a more uh, crazy characters like this, I think it's okay to actually make the hair look messier to complement the personality. What if an error occur when you make a mistake? Too bad. Learn from it and make sure you don't commit the same mistake next time. That's all you can do. It's really hard to fix a traditional painting, especially in such medium. If you talk about oil painting, you can still paint over it, but for this kind of materials, you can't. So you need to be really careful. Well, it doesn't have to be perfect though. So don't impose the kind of standard on yourself that you must make everything that look perfect. It doesn't have to be. Someone said I need to do more traditional art. This is beautiful. Thank you. Well, I still consider myself pretty much a digital artist. So traditional art is just something I do for fun, usually at my own free time or during conventions. So most of my artwork still produced digitally, as you can see from the slideshow previously. You've been watching me since young? Wow, thank you. Made me feel old, but that's okay. I hope I get older and I get wiser. Hopefully, I can meet some of you in person in the near future. Really can't wait to travel again. Will you do some other Katarina League of Legends work? Mm, not really. To be honest, I don't even play League of Legends. So my motivation of drawing League of Legends characters is not as great unless I really, really like the design. Like when I saw the KDA music videos, I really got inspired and draw a KDA Akali. When I'm not doing art, what do I do? Well, taking care of my family, playing with my kids, play games with them. That's pretty much actually. Yeah. I mean, I play tennis as well as my regular sport. Have I drawn Spawn cover yet? No, I have not. Yeah, maybe soon. Sorry, guys, if this process take a bit too long. Someone from YouTube say that I miss your pepper artwork. Yeah, I miss my pepper artwork too. I really hope that I have time to work some of the new pepper art. For those who don't know that Pepper is my original character, And for those of you who are new to my artworks, if this is the very first time you have ever seen my art, feel free to go to artgem.com to check out my artworks. You can also follow me on social media, and I'm artgem everywhere. Mm. When can I come to China? I have no idea. When can I travel? I have no idea. How many of you here actually draw for a living? Means you consider yourself professional artist? Can you draw someone from One Piece, please? Seems like you don't really look at my art, or you're new to my art. Uh, I drew a lot of One Piece characters. I won't say a lot, but quite a lot. So for anyone who are interested to see if I've ever drawn your favorite character, just Google art gem followed by the name of the character. I think recently I drew a Nami, Nico Robin, Ace. Who else? The mermaid. I forgot her name. Uh, Quite a lot. Yeah, Shirahoshi. That's right. Do I have any art courses? Yes, I do. I'm running an art school in Singapore. It's a diploma course for digital art and concept design under this school called 3D Sense Media School. So if you're interested, just feel free to go and check it out. The website is 3D Sense, as in three, as in the number three, 3D Sense, SENSE .net. Unfortunately, I do not have any online courses. The one that I have is offline. That means you have to move to Singapore to study with me for 1 year. So after applying the gray ink, now the image will look a bit more three-dimensional and will be ready for the copy. I think that should be enough. Right, let's put some colors on her. Draw this in your style challenge, like what I did with Pepper. That sounds interesting. Have I seen Demon Slayer? Of course. You love to see me draw Nezuko? I drew Nezuko before. Again, just take a moment, go to Google, and search for Art Gem Nezuko, and you can find it. So now I try to darken the hair even further. I'm using warm 8 now. Because I still find the hair look a bit too contrasty for my liking. So I put the warm gray at the bottom part of the hair, and then for the top part of the hair, I'll put some cool gray. So this is cool gray 7. All right, that should be nice and subtle. You can still see the structure of the hair, the texture of the hair without feeling it that stands out too much to me. So for this method, you don't have to bring too many copy colors. For me, especially when I go for conventions, I try to bring as few items as possible. So if I use this method, I can just bring a few key colors and overlay on top of the gray painting. And with the grayscale undertone, the colors will interact with each other much better because the underlying value is done. Okay, let's put some red on her. I like this red, really vibrant. For now, I'm using a Shinhan Touch marker. This is a Korean branded so-called Copic marker, Shinhan Touch marker. So it comes with the flat tip and a brush tip, just like the Copic sketch version. I like this one because it's firstly cheaper. You're talking about 30 to 40% cheaper. I think the challenging part about using Copic markers is that, especially on my paper, it does not bleed, so it does not spread. I mean, the ink does not spread that much. So you can see it will create a lot more strokes lines because Copic is a hard tip brush, so you can't really get so-called a soft brush like a soft round brush in Photoshop. So the stroke that you create, you always carry that harsh lines. So instead of trying to avoid it, try to try my best to eliminate it. I mean, I may as well make use of it to create some textures, especially for fabric. So when I paint, I will try to paint according to the contour uh, of the object to create some kind of interesting uh, texture with the marker. There's some kind of fabric weaving pattern. Yeah, the new Copic refill has changed to 25 ml to 12 ml. So we're cutting half of the ink volume, but the price does not cut into half. I'm looking for a day that Copic is kind enough to sponsor me. That would be awesome. So when you use Copic markers, try not to go too fast uh, in terms of speed. Uh, Let the ink soak into the paper. If you go too fast, you get the dry brush look, which you may not want it. So go with a steady speed.